Okay, here we are. We are live for the Holo delivery brief. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, it's February 12th, and it's a good month. It's a good year. The live stream that we're doing right now, our launch brief, is a short format live stream. We do it every few weeks. Really, we do it once a month at the sometime around the beginning first week or two of the month. And the intention is to keep everybody apprised about how our work is going and what we're delivering on the Holo network, and kind of give you a quick update on all things Holo. And want to start off today though with a quick little apology note about this. Last time in January, I did a small flub, and it was just because I was not coordinating correctly with our team, and basically that helped me produce all of this to do the live stream, and I didn't see the actual questions that came in that were live during the session. So all the things I was answering were older questions that had come in the previous few weeks. But we've taken care of that, so now I know where to look, and we'll be getting all of the live questions as well as some of the others that were done in the past. So for this month, we're going to just do our update. I'm going to look at a couple of the questions that came in from some of the various channels, and then we'll jump into a bunch of today's questions before we finish it up. Yeah, let's get going. Let's start with the update. This is going to be starting with a network migration update. So first things first, we are introducing a new name for our new network, Allograph. Over the past few live streams and text communications that the team has put out, you've heard us say next gen or next generation Holo network. But it's official. We are naming it Allograph. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. The word allograph means signature or something written on behalf of another. And so we think this is really fitting for a network that's designed to host the applications for others. So that's where it comes from. That's why we picked it. And it also gives us something to make it more clear. So now we'll be talking about our allograph network and our legacy network as we move forward with things. So let's jump into current progress. We currently have 6 holoports. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's really important, that are actively running the new hosting agent on the Allograph network. And what we're doing now is working to test, to verify all the different configurations of holoports, because there's actually quite a bit of different hardware and different configurations out there, before we rush to get all of the ports or most of the ports out on Allograph. And I'll talk about 3 different areas of progress. So the first thing is authentication and orchestration. So this is really critical because this is ensuring that holoports can securely authenticate themselves and then interface with our central orchestration service. Authentication is a critical prerequisite for holoports before they can migrate over to Allograph. This process leverages the existing Holo Quick Start registration keys. And what that means is that holoports that haven't yet completed that step will need to do so before upgrading. Then we have the next thing that we're working on and that we're really kind of digging into to make sure we can do this migration fully is the network inventory with health checks. And this is ensuring that we establish a reliable process for assessing holoports before they migrate. And once the authentication, the inventory assessments are all complete, then we'll move a little bit more steadily through installing the hosting agent on all the registered holoports that meet the health check requirements. So this is, the reason we're doing this is the phased approach ensures a smooth transition while minimizing a lot of the disruption for both our hosters and our support teams. But it's going and we're excited. It's looking really great. And I really want to kind of circle back on why we're doing this next gen or Allograph network. This really expands our workload capacities. By advancing what we're calling the workload runner, it can support a much broader range of workloads beyond holochain applications. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means as we move through other kind of product releases that we do this year. Just keep in mind that while we are focused on the Allograph network because it enables this flexible growth for Holo, that it's not just containers that can run holochain applications, but containers that can run other types of applications. Um, we're still supporting throughout this process our legacy network. And that's really important because the legacy network continues to provide functionality for certain projects, including the Holochain Foundation, because so much of the reliability testing that's happening on that the Holochain team depends on that earlier network. And it's we really the reason for that is that we don't want to slow down their capacity to test Holochain and require them to rebuild their testing tools. So that's one of the main reasons that the legacy network will stay on. You might hear us talk about it a little bit more from time to time about what's happening there. Are there certain projects that are deployed there, which there currently are, and there's more that are coming on board. And I don't know right now whether the new ones that are coming on the legacy network right now, or whether they're coming on to Allograph. I know that one of the ones that's already on the legacy is definitely waiting to go to the Allograph network, but it's going to be dependent on when like Holochain upgrades happen as well. So that's really the network, the network update. But got a couple other things. The quick high velo update. So this is really kind of fun. Our devs have gotten us to the point where um, we're initiating high velo device activations on a Holoport. Now this is running on the Holoport legacy network. But what's cool about it is it was using our new container-based workload mechanism. So this is really great, but we're not quite there yet. To proceed beyond this activation, we have to coordinate with the High Velo team because they still do need to release a headless version of their software that we will be using to integrate on and test with Allograph. And I think that many of you might be following their progress since we kind of threw out a bunch of links and have talked about them quite a bit. But right now they're a little heads down because they're focusing on their token right now. And you can find news about them on their website, on their news section of their website. One of the things that I really appreciate about what they're doing is their focus on making complex things super simple and how they are committed to onboarding what they call, and what I love, normie users. So there's some fun stuff in their documents and in their commitments. So take a quick look at that. Our group will share some links on what they're up to right now, and we'll keep you posted about when we're ready to take the next steps with them on our network. The last thing I want to dig into before we start answering some questions is we get a lot of questions about our roadmap. And we've been diligently working on the version of it that will go out to everybody. Because first we had to really like dive in and get our product development roadmap, which is super technical, put together. And now we've gotten to the point where we have it ready, designed, or we have it outlined, and we're working with our designers to get it ready for some other changes that will be happening on our website. So that will hopefully come later this month, maybe the beginning of next month, but be on the lookout for it. But I'm going to give you a few highlights. So some highlights on the upcoming roadmap are that what we've been working on is for Q1 specifically are the gossip nodes. These are functioning always on Holochain app nodes, which is part of what is coming with the migration to the Allograph network. So we're talking about gossip nodes running on Allograph. The other part that is kind of moving into development right now is our web gateways. This is what allows Holochain applications to get out and receive HTTP requests or respond and create an open website that is available and with DHT data, that type of thing. And so those two things are part of our Q1 deliverable on the new network, which is fabulous. That's moving and on track. And then another big thing that we're working on, or getting ready to work on rather, because it's still coming at the either end of Q1 or beginning of Q2, I'm not quite sure, is static file hosting. Now, that sounds like a real general thing, but for Holochain apps, what this is the UIs for Holochain apps, because this is something that we weren't able to do on our older network that we really are committed to doing on the new network. It's part of what makes the work that we're doing to generalize things really functionally help us provide more even for Holochain applications. But what's great about it is that by doing this work, we're also enabling more generally any kind of static file hosting. So we'll be productizing that out in different ways, but definitely it'll be more generalized for other kinds of containerized use in Q2. So that's really exciting. There's going to be a lot of other things that are happening in Q2 that I'm not going to get into right now, but you'll see those when the roadmap comes out, and that will take us. It'll actually have things out all the way until the end of the year. So, yeah, let's tackle some questions now. So let's go find those. Okay, there's a bunch of things that were left over. Let's just start on some of those. Why did the VASP in Gibraltar not work, and will Holo or Holochain move to another legal entity? So it's not that the VASP in Gibraltar didn't work, it's that what we were doing wasn't going to be sufficient. It was really not going to be sustainable, maintainable just for Holochain, or I'm sorry, just for Holo. And so this is why we made a bunch of the restructuring decisions. I think that just in the last week or so, a Holochain blog came out that really dug into why we did some of the restructuring, and they answered some of these questions probably better than I will off the cuff. So I'll leave it at that one for now. But Holo and Holochain are remaining in Gibraltar, by the way. Are there any big companies working with Holo with the intent of moving from their current cloud hosting services to Holo? I'm not aware of that. Holo is quite a distinctive type of service, and right now I don't think anybody this is really looking at it in that perspective. Our primary target audience is Holochain applications and other Web3 type of projects and partners. So that's really what we're focused on right now. Now, there's also a broad base of people out in our ecosystem that we're engaging with about, hey, what other types of products and services that we could throw up that might be open source, that might be more useful to you, to the work that you're doing, to the projects that you're working in, that we could put up on the Holo network. And so there's a lot of questionnaires that we're sending out, surveys that we're putting out that are really important for people to take a look at, answer the questions on, because this is going to inform how we prioritize getting some of those things out the door. That'd be great. The next question. So is the Hivelo partnership a way to try to get Holoport owners active? Since it was said in the past there isn't enough demand for all ports. Yeah, we are definitely looking at how do we add value, right, for all Holoport owners generally. And we're going to keep looking at various partnerships that are win-win in this way. So definitely it is one aspect of it, and we're going to keep looking. Like there's various kinds of partnerships that Holo has. Some are with projects that are building on Holochain. Some are with projects that are Web3 projects doing completely distinct things that may be able to use Holo services, or we may be able to find some way of partnering that enables one another's technology or businesses. Next question. When will holoports be used by Hivelo? This is targeted for Q2, actually. Here's the thing. We are still, like I said earlier in the update, we're still dependent on the Hivelo team. So that's a target date, and we hope to meet it, but we're going to be coordinating with them to make that firm. Next question. Are there any UI dashboard updates planned for host? Actually, yes, I didn't get into it, but that's one of there's definitely another milestone on the roadmap that is about the portal. And the thing is there's two different sides of this, right? Just like we used to talk about. There's what do our customers need, and then what do hosters need. And so I think we're going to be focused first on a portal that the customer needs, because they need to be able to auto deploy and set up a bunch of settings for the projects that we're trying to onboard onto the network. And that's really critical. And we're, like I said, in many times, we really have to be focused on both the technical projects and the growth of the network first, and then sort of come and fill in the gaps that we need to do for the hosters, and provide the kind of data that people need for participating on the network. So there are definitely, though, dashboards, or I don't know if I'm using the right term. I'll have to kind of pull into the team and get details on that. Maybe we can put something out in a text update later. So let's move on to the next one. Can you share a little bit about the current state of funds for the Holo organization? There was some hot circulating supply increase. Did the team or the organization sell hot recently for funding? Okay, sure. So Holo has been, and I think I've said this many times, I mean, there's been ongoing liquidations of hot that are not extreme but have been funding progress for our network for a while. I'm not sure that the circulating supply increases, we're not managing that directly. There's things that we've interacted with in terms of updating. Every once in a while, we're asked to do like an update to one of the larger exchanges, and we give them information. But sometimes those updates are like calculating stuff that might have happened over the course of a year, so or more. And sometimes they're just wrong because they'll put what they want up there, not necessarily even what we say. So it's an odd little sort of give and take about that. But for sure, we're good. We're situated. We have runway right now for what we're doing for the growth of the network, which feels good. And yeah, we're moving forward. Now we're moving into some of the live questions, and let's see what we've got here time-wise. Okay, great. So is HOT still going to be the token on Aligraph? Well, for now, HOT is our token. HOT is the Holo token. It is the main thing that we're talking about. There could be some other news about that. I'm not going to get into details, but there's some conversations and some digging in that we're doing based on a bunch of requests coming out from the community and based on some possibilities that are presenting themselves. And as you guys all know, if you're following the work that's happening on one of the other organizations that's still working on HoloFuel, they're moving into some tests for the mutual credit currency, and they've really done some big changes to how HoloFuel is working as well. So do go check that out. We're not really setting a time frame right now for any changes around what we're doing. We're still focused on just using HOT for the time being, and we'll keep you focused if any of our, or we'll keep you updated if any of those decisions get made and we start shifting. Next question. If you mind sharing, how much runway is left for Holo? How is the financial situation at Holo? Well, thank you for the caveat there. So we're doing well. I'm not going to go into specifics. I never get absolute specifics when I talk about this. I just don't think that's smart for us as an organization. For one thing, the circumstances can change day and from day to day, month to month on these things, and it's really not something that we go and talk about in detail. What I can say is that what I said earlier really kind of captures. We are regularly managing our treasury for us, but we're also in support of the Holochain Foundation and the work with HoloFuel. And so this is really important as we go through the transitions, that some changes, some distributions kind of made some shifts from what organization, and there'll probably be some more of that going on. But we are in very good shape. We've got runway. We're feeling very good about this year and moving into even 2026 at this point. And beyond that, it's really hard to tell because everything changes. Things change with revenues shifts, things change with pricing shifts and the market shifts. So that's about what we can say at this point. When will there be marketing activities around Holo? Great question. The thing is we are doing marketing activities, but we're marketing probably quieter than you guys want to see. Marketing and sales activities are sort of interchangeable in this stage for us, because we know, like right now, if you really think about what we've been focused on, we've been focused on projects building on Holochain up until now, and we're just starting to enable on the new network something that can do beyond that. So for our core focus with Holochain, we're connected. We're connected in with the ecosystem. We're connected in with the projects. So there's no reason to waste money marketing to the ecosystem of people building on Holochain. We're in those communications already. So marketing, though, will become more important as we start doing more generalized products and services on the network. And so, that will be shifting. We're actually doing some work right now to really kind of tweak our brand a little bit, really kind of look at what is Holo hosting outside of all of the other things and all of the other narratives we've been telling as Holochain or as HoloFuel and all of that. So there's going to be some changes that will be very noticeable. And in some ways, this is similar to what we've done with our network, where we had to lay some foundations for the new version of the network that could be more flexible. We're going to be laying foundations for how we can communicate what is Holo hosting and what are the products and services that Holo hosting is offering and how can people onboard. And so that will be the foundation before that comes before that marketing, the push that you guys might want to see. So we're going to jump in to a few other questions that are out here. Let's see what we can look at here. When can we expect a new updated roadmap to be shared? I think I answered that one already. Exciting to say that that's on its way. What we'll have most likely is we'll probably put something out on our socials or maybe in a blog post about the roadmap before we get out the roadmap on the new website. And what that means is that it's going to be on the website, and similar to how we structured the Holochain website a few years back, where you could see what's being worked on now, how much of it is done, when is it expected to happen, that sort of stuff. We're really going to have something a lot more functional for a roadmap on our website, so that's exciting. Here's one we get every single time. I'll take it again. Can we expect HOT to be listed on any UX exchanges? It's quite possible, but I can't talk about it and I can't really guarantee anything. So I'm going to keep moving on. The next one is, how much HOT does the organization hold, and can we be transparent about those wallets? No, we manage our treasury the way that we manage our treasury. It's a mixture of different things, and especially given the changes that have been happening with the restructure, there's some things still in flux there. So that's not really something we get into the details of. Can you share more about the first HOT payment? Did any others follow after? We can say that there's other payments coming in, but that have not followed on yet. I can say that the first HOT payment was a prepayment for services that have started happening for a project that is in alpha at this stage. And so you'll likely be hearing about them sometime in the future. And let's see, I think this is the last one that we can get to today. So looks like a week or so ago, Holo ranked among the projects. I think this was an older question, so just to note, that might not be last week. But Holo ranked among the projects with the most development going on. That's likely true. How come y'all aren't talking more about this? That's a great question. One of the things that I would say has happened, if you may have noticed on the website, we do have a page on the Holo website that talks about our activity in GitHub. That's currently down as part of some of the shifts that we're making. We kind of disrupted that feed, but it's going to go back up, and we're going to continue keeping that up. We don't spend a lot of time going out and comparing ourselves to the other projects and how much activity is happening. But I tell you, when our team on either our Telegram or up on Twitter X gets posted, if you guys post these things to our socials team, we definitely will repost them. We'll definitely share information about this. It is true. We have been consistently one of the higher development projects. That's because we've been consistently making progress on both Holochain and on Holo. And so I really invite folks, if you guys see things that are being said about us or things that are being said that are important for our team to know about and share about, please share those with us. We super appreciate that feedback, and not just feedback, but that kind of giving us some information that would be more useful to share widely with the rest of the ecosystem. So anyway, I think that about covers it up. I'm going to finish up for today, and thanks everybody for being on the live stream, and we look forward to connecting. Do be on the lookout for the next survey. I think that's going to be going out in about a week or so. So we look forward to getting lots of responses from everybody. Thanks, y'all. Ciao.